So on this channel, if you follow along, you hear me talk a lot about how we ditch strategy sessions, discovery calls, webinars, challenges, all that type of stuff when it comes to selling high ticket coaching. Okay, so this is stuff that's, you know, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And in eliminating that, instead what we use is PDF documents or a simple Google Doc that acts as an invitation to the program for somebody who has been consuming our content and is ready to move forward and take the next step. I call it invitation selling. Very, very simple, right? What I want to share with you in this video is an exact conversation that led to a $15,000 sale, and you can see the simplicity of this model in action. You'll see the inbound message that comes as a result of the content that we create. You'll see a little bit of a qualification or fact-finding type question. You will see me answer a quick question, the invitation document gets sent over, and the deal get closed. Okay, I'm going to walk you through all of this in the video. I'm going to jump into the computer. I'm going to show you the entire conversation and break it all down for you. And I also want to explain how these conversations come to be. There's two different ways that we generate them. And then you can go and take this and use it in your business, or you can get in touch with us at jacobcaris.com if you'd like our help implementing this in your own business if you sell coaching or consulting. Okay, before we jump into it, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, give the video a like, leave any questions or comments that you've got below, and check out that first link in the description. Head to the website if you're more interested in potentially working with us or seeing all the other stuff that we've got going on online. Okay, so with that all out of the way, we're going to jump into the computer and I'm going to break down this whole conversation, closing a $15,000 deal with no phone call, no webinar, no challenge. Really, really simple, just an invitation document sent over Facebook Messenger. Let's jump into it. All right, folks, let's jump right into this one. So as I said off the top, we're going to walk you through the exact conversation, closing a $15K coaching deal inside Facebook Messenger, no calls. All right, so I want to give you a bit of the setup, then we're going to dive into the conversation. All right, setup point number one, this prospect has been in my audience for some time. Okay, they've been consuming content primarily on Facebook and in particular on YouTube as well. Okay, they've been reading my posts, watching these videos, learning more and more about the way we do things, understanding the plan that we help our clients execute on, how we're different, how we might be able to help them, the people that we've helped previously, all these things that the content needs to do, right? In order to, other than just getting attention, content should be building your reputation and it should be pre-selling people on your methodologies. Okay, and so they've been consuming and consuming and consuming, and eventually they reach out, right? And that's the conversation we're going to walk you through today. Okay, after they jumped into the program, I asked them a couple of things about, and I try to do this with as many clients as possible to understand the path that they went along before they became a client so that we can try and engineer more of that. They advised that before they jumped in, they heavily binged the YouTube channel, right? So probably where you are right now, immediately before signing up. I think a lot of people think about YouTube as just this mechanism to grow a big audience. YouTube is brilliant for developing depth of relationship. So if you're on other platforms where maybe you've got a bit wider reach, like TikTok or Twitter or something like that, and you want to supplement that with more depth of the relationship, YouTube's a fantastic platform to do that. This channel, albeit tiny, has generated hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars because that's how we utilize it, right? It generates us new leads, but we also heavily use it to build the depth of the relationship. So that's what you're seeing there. They binge and then they make the decision, okay, it's time for me to reach out and get in touch about working together. And fourth, the other thing that they mentioned was, I talk a lot about building assets. I talk about building lead generation assets. I talk about building offer assets, which we'll talk about in this video. I talk about building delivery assets, right? These are things that capture your energy. They essentially clone you or multiply you such that the income that you make in the future, as that grows, ideally, it's becoming more and more detached from your time and your energy, and also from you needing time of staff or people you employ, right? These are assets that do the heavy lifting themselves. You let the asset generate the cash flow instead of you having to do the work or someone on your team do the work. Okay, that's a deeper topic for another day, but they mentioned that, and that's a really, really interesting data point, because now I can keep talking about that more, because clearly that's a unique proposition that's really interesting to people. So we try and collect this data to understand where people have come from and what triggered them to reach out, because rather than me sitting here guessing what content people find helpful, if I just ask them what tipped them over the edge or what really interests them or what did you binge, I can make more of that. And then I can engineer more of those conversations that are pre-qualified and pre-framed using that type of content. Okay, we can talk about that deeper in a future video. But with that kind of setting the scene, they've gone through that path and they've reached out. Okay, so this is the conversation here. We've broken it up into a couple of parts. Conversation part number 1, you've got a hot product-specific inbound lead. Okay, and what I mean by product specific is they're clearly reaching out about a program. They're reaching out about a product. They're reaching out about a service, right? We talk about product specific inbound and problem specific inbound. Product specific inbound are a lot closer to purchasing because they're asking, hey, can you give me information about this thing? I want to buy it. Versus problem specific being like, hey, can you help me with this general problem? Right? You can accelerate those people along that path pretty quickly, but they're a little bit further back because they may not be product aware. They may not be plan aware in terms of how you can actually help them. So people who are product aware are typically going to have gone through the path of, well, I've got this problem, and they're probably sold on the fact that I can help them. They probably know about the plan of attack that we cover inside that product or in our products, and now they've arrived at the product going, well, this is the way that I have to go if I want the plan to solve the problem. Okay, it's a process that they go through. Okay, and so you can see the message that I received here. Right, it says, "Yo, what's going on, Jacob? Hope you are having a good morning. I wanted to reach out and ask if I could get a link to your video doc, please." He just means the offer doc. My business partner and I are wanting to join your coaching program. We're curious on what the details are so we can gather our resources and join. Thanks, brother, and hope to hear back from you when you have the time. Okay, I want to pause here. The interesting dynamic that happens when you create a content ecosystem, be that written, video, audio, live, a combination of all of those, and as well as front-end offers that people can purchase, you can move people between all those parts of your world, and they'll spend a lot of time with you consuming, and you may never have spoken to that person directly, but they're going to feel like they know you, right? Depending on how much they've consumed, depending on how much time they've spent with you, how well they feel they know you will change. But if they've watched a lot of stuff, they're going to really feel like they know you. So they're going to feel comfortable in that dynamic because the relationship has been built up over an extended period of time. And there's a lot of hours that have been invested in building that relationship, even though this was the first interaction directly that we ever had. Okay, so as an example, we could spend 20 hours together by him consuming, reading, watching, listening, but I have only ever invested that time once. So I could spend that 20 hours with 100 prospects or 1,000 prospects or 10,000 prospects, but I only ever had to invest the 20 hours once to build the 20 hours worth of content. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And so you get these very, very comfortable conversations. So I said, hey man, appreciate you reaching out. You're talking about the inner circle. Just want to make sure I fire over the correct details that you're looking for. So we have a couple of different offers going on. I wanted to make sure that that was the one that he was looking for. Okay. He said, if that's the program where you help people craft or dial in people's offers, then yes. And it is. Okay. And so that was really the first part of the conversation. Reach out. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page, and he said yes. Okay. So now we go into a bit of what I'll call basic information gathering / qualification, right? It's not like a hardcore qualification. I said, yeah, man, that's the primary one at the moment. Happy to shoot it over. And then, so I've said, I'm happy to give you the information, but I just want to gather a little bit of information first to make sure for both of us that this is sweet, right? How are you guys selling at the moment? Phone or DMs / chat? So we have some pretty particular methodologies that we help people with, and I just wanted to get a picture of what they were doing right now to make sure that that lined up, to make sure that I'm actually going to be able to help them. Okay, so he said, cool, man. At the moment, we are selling over the phone. We're huge on doing outreach and getting upfront high ticket sales. However, we're trying to get the content game down and get more volume of clients coming through on the back end. Okay, I said, that makes sense. Is it just one main offer, or do you have a couple stacked? So what I'm trying to get here is a visual on what they're doing right now. I'm trying to understand what it is that they're currently doing, right? And I'm also trying to understand what it is that they ultimately want to achieve. So I can see from that very, very quick message, right? I understand that currently they're doing a lot of outreach to generate their sales, and they want to do less of that, and they want their content to do more of the heavy lifting to get the more volume and flow through to their back-end program. So in one message, I can gather a ton of information. I also know that they're selling on the phone and not over chat. Okay. And then with them telling me kind of what their sequence looks like, I want a little bit more information about the offer. So I've said, is it one main offer or do you have a couple stacked together? Just so I can really visualize what we're talking about here. And he tells me really quickly, punchy conversations. Okay, this is instead of needing to get on the phone, or you have an army of people on the phone for 45 minutes, an hour, or 2 calls, or bloody webinar into long series of calls. Simple, right? We have a coaching offer that we mainly sell at 10K. However, we do have a course we downsell to people for 3K. He said, however, it seems like you do the opposite. So he's obviously observed kind of what I do, and is asking a question, right? So that's the next part. Now we're into 3. When people are asking you questions, just answer the question directly, okay? So I'll answer his question and then we roll on from there. I said, look, we've played around with a few different structures over the years. Some folks like the linear ascension to qualify people along the way. Others are happy to sell people into their back end, which works totally fine too. We have people who join the inner circle directly. We have people who come through one or multiple front end programs and then ultimately ascend up. It really just depends on the flow that they kind of move through. Right? Obviously, along the way, we're making sure that they're a good fit and that we can help them. Okay, I said, as you know, a strong relationship with the lead makes the sales pitch infinitely easier. So the back end ascension becomes a piece of cake if they've been through a front end type offer and got results. Okay, so that's a way to accelerate your sales process, is if you put people through a front end offer, get them a great result, the ascension to the back end is going to be super, super easy. But that's just one path. As I said, they can come straight in off your content into a back end offer like you're going to see here. Okay, just one way to do it though, right? So it sounds like we're pretty aligned at the moment. Our primary focus is our main back-end offer, aka the inner circle that I mentioned above, right? So the inner circle is my, kind of private client group where I work directly with people, right? He said, I agree, it makes 100% sense. We would definitely like to hear more on the offer and see how we could make that model work for us. And I said, so I'm feeling good about this. Feels normal, vibes feel good, the information that I've received is helpful, and I can definitely help this person. You start to be able to make these decisions pretty quickly, okay? So I've said, sure, man, I'll ping it over, you can take a look, and we can go from there. Can you see how casual this conversation is, right? You can see how relaxed and simple and low pressure, all right? He said, thank you, I appreciate it. And then I've, part 4, sending the invitation, okay? Thank you, I appreciate it. Here you go. All right, and I've removed this because a bit of a secret sauce going on with the docs. If you guys want help with this, you can get in touch. Go to jacobcaris.com. Right, we've got to keep a little bit back, okay? But I just sent over the invitation to work together, which has all of the details about the program that they've reached out about, okay? And I've just added a little bit of supplementary here because I want him to know that it fits his situation, okay? Inside the offer here, we talk about selling in chat without getting on the phone, and I want him to know that we also work with people who are currently on the phone to either help them get off the phone or to make their life on the phone a hell of a lot easier by increasing the quality of the conversations that they're having. We have people that do a couple of different things. We call them seal the deal calls, as I've said there in the message, which is where you just jump on for 15 minutes and the person is already well informed about the offer, they know the price, they know everything, and it's just a matter of them making a decision. For the most part, we don't do these, but we do have clients who like to do them, and so it's a model that we can help them implement if they just want that quick call to kind of vet. So I just send the invitation document, and then a little bit more context to just really tailor it to the situation, right? Again, very casual, very to the point. He says, okay, perfect, man, thank you. And then I've just said part 5 the close, right? Easy. Hit me back if you want to rock and roll or if you have any questions. Cheers. So you guys can see how chilled out this dynamic is, right? I'm going to circle back to how this is possible. Okay. He said, I'm going to go over it with my business partner. We'll figure something out. Thank you for sending it over. Perfect. Chat soon. Okay. So super, super relaxed. So this was on the 9th at 8 a.m., right? And then this is on the 10th at 1:25 a.m. So like, the next morning, super, super early, he's messaged back saying, we're in, okay? The call to action at the bottom of the document is, if this is all sweet, message me back, letting me know that you're in. And so that's the message that comes back, okay? Awesome, man. Just jumping on a call. We'll send over the next steps afterwards. Sweet. Here you go. I've sent him the link. Drop me a note here when you fix that up, and I'll send you over the onboarding doc, and we can get you into the group from there. So we then have a document that we send over that gives them the exact steps to go through to get into the group, join the private chat, unlock all the content, book their kickoff call, everything. Very, very clean. We just send over one link, and it's sorted. All right, really, really simple. Okay, compare that flow and that sequence. That's a deal done, right? Compare that to 15-minute call, 45-minute call, needing to sit through, a 3-hour webinar, running a 5-10 day challenge, right? I'm not saying those things don't work. They definitely do. This is just the way that we like to do things. I like to focus each day on building the ecosystem and the brand bigger and bigger and bigger, creating content of value to people inside my audience. Maybe they, buy a front end product, which we have listed over at jacobcaris.com. And out of that ecosystem, out of that world, our people who want to work closely with me emerge, and we have a very simple conversation like this. Make sure we can help them understand the particulars really quickly and then ascend them up. That's the model, and that's invitation selling in action. Okay, I wanted to share that with you because that's how we do things, and if you're interested in getting our help with that, you can check out the links in the description. The key to making this work, though, is the relationship that you build on the front end. Don't expect to just be able to start, slinging out PDFs cold to people. You might stumble into a sale, but it's not going to be something that you can repeat over and over and over again with any level of predictability. You have to be building the relationships on the front end through your content, through front end offers if you want to do that. And then you invite the people who really resonate with you, who have problems that you can solve, who like your plan to help them, who align with your style and your views and all those kind of things. Okay, hopefully you found that helpful. That's how we do things here. If you're new to the channel, hopefully that gave you a bit of a indoctrination into our approach. You can check out other videos. We've got a lot more content around this, closing high ticket deals without getting on the phone. I appreciate you hanging out with me in this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Cheers.